Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning into my channel again this week. First and foremost, I want to get this out the way. I want to thank everyone who came over from Spaced Out Radio. Thanks to Dave who subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate all you new subscribers who came on to listen to me talk to my channel on my channel, even though I don't have that much content. But thanks anyway. And if you guys have not checked out Spaced Out Radio, may I suggest you do so. It's an amazing channel. Dave is awesome. He talks about some amazing and incredible information. He talks about cryptids. He talks about UFOs. He talks about psychedelics, paranormal activity, all kinds of interesting stuff. So I want to tell you to just go over and head over and check out his channel because I think you will find it highly interesting if you're into that. So what I wanted to talk about tonight was two things. Actually, I couldn't decide on what I wanted to talk about tonight. I thought I would talk about the Philadelphia experiment, and then I thought I would talk about the Wilson-Davis notes. Both of them are really good subjects. For those of you who don't know what the Philadelphia experiment is, it has something to do with cloaking and invisibility. Supposedly, that involved the Navy back in October of 1948. But I don't know if I'm going to talk about that tonight. I may come back to it, but tonight I think I'm going to talk about the Wilson-Davis notes. So I'm sure some of you already know what the Wilson-Davis notes are, but for those of you who don't know what the Wilson-Davis notes are, it's a 15-page document. Actually, it's more of a 13-page document of handwritten notes by physicist Eric Davis back in 2002 when he interviewed Admiral Thomas Wilson. I will put a link in the description below, that way you can find it. I'm also going to put a link in the description below of the late Edgar Mitchell kind of talking about well, not really the documents, but the meeting he had in Washington in 1997 related to the documents. He doesn't outright name Admiral Thomas Wilson and the people he met with, but he does talk about this on Larry King. So I'll put a link to that description below also. So the Wilson-Davis notes. So the Wilson-Davis notes are located on Imgur. And I found out about these notes through historian Richard Dolan, because he was talking about these notes on his channel back in, I believe it was 2019 when he started talking about these notes. That's how I found out about them, because before then I didn't know anything about them. So it's an interview that physicist Eric Davis had with Admiral Thomas Wilson back in 2002 behind the EG&G building in Las Vegas. And actually the EG&G building is the same company that Bob Lazar got hired through, but they're not the company's not in operation anymore, because I looked it up to see if they were in operation, but they're not in business anymore. So the story, and I'm going to try to narrow it down. I'm not going to read all the 15 pages for you. You guys can do that yourself because it'll just take too long. I'm just going to try to make a quick short statement of what the documents are about. So in 2002, Eric Davis was sent out to interview Admiral Thomas Wilson about rogue black budget projects, secret runaway projects that had no oversight by Congress, by Washington. Only a small group of people knew about the program. And so they met behind the EG&G building around 10 o'clock in the morning. And it goes on. Actually, I will read a first page of the document for you. And then I'll read another part of the document. That's one of my favorite sections on here. So let me find it. So this was on... So Eric Davis has it dated October 16, 2002. Eric Davis meeting with Admiral Thomas Wilson. Let me go down. Scroll down to the next page. Let me scroll. And my computer seems to be freezing up. Okay, here it goes. Let's see. Here's page 3. Okay, so Imgur is acting weird. normally the page will pop right up. It brings up page 2, but it doesn't want to bring up the other page. So essentially, Eric Davis meets with Admiral Thomas Wilson, like I say in the back. Oh, hold on. Let me see if it's pulling up. Why does it not want to pull up the other page? Oh, okay. I think I found it. Okay. So Rich says, I'm going to start off on the first page. Rich says to go to EG&G Special Projects Building at Greer in Paradise. Meet at 10 a.m. Don't be late. So Admiral Thomas Wilson is late. He arrives at 10:10, arrives with 2 Navy officers in uniform. He's in suit. Now a civilian. Let me skip down. Greetings with Admiral Wilson. They sit in the back of his car at the E&G building. They talk until around 11:30 a.m. Others depart for building to attend a meeting. And this is Thomas Wilson speaking right now. Hello. The minute I saw your EWD resume, U.S. Uniformed Services ID, copy of Air Force orders, and physics papers Rich gave, I knew who you are. Put 2 and 2 together, figured who you were. Laughs. You don't want to talk about my career or DIA history. Let's see, Edward. Now this is Eric Davis talking. No, actually not. Then Thomas Wilson says, I recall a phone call with Oak Shannon in fall August '99. Big Oak Shannon fan. Go back years in the Navy before Oak left for Langley. Let's see. Then Thomas Wilson talks again. Oak talked 2 hours. One to convince to talk to me. Eric Davis about what he told Will Miller. June '97 and April '97 Boston Globe story, and then it referenced King, I think Leslie King of the New York Times. UFO topic, crash retrieve UFO craft bodies, and then Eric Davis saying what was said, and then Thomas Wilson says confirmed Greer, Miller, Mitchell gave talk in Pentagon conference room. Admiral Mike Crawford, General Pat Hughes, his boss, Admiral Thomas Wilson's boss, were present. Others too. Date April '97. Edgar Mitchell said 4/9/97. After a group broke up, Miller, Thomas Wilson talked prior 2 hours on UFOs, MJ-12, Roswell, crash UFOs, alien bodies, etc. Thomas Wilson intrigued, knew about intelligence on U.S. military intel, UFO close encounters, and foreign government encounters. See records, told Miller. Let's see. What else? Thomas Wilson. Yes, Miller asked a question on MJ-12 UFO cabal crash UFO confirmed. He called Miller late '97 and told that Miller was right. There is such an organization in existence. So basically what was happening. So back in 1997, Dr. Stephen Greer, the late astronaut Edgar Mitchell, and a commander Navy officer named Willard Miller flew out to Washington, D.C. They wanted to talk to some higher ups, some people in power who would listen to them about rogue black budget projects pertaining to UFOs, crash retrievals, alien bodies. So they caught the attention of Admiral Thomas Wilson and his boss. Now, Thomas Wilson only took the meeting because of the late Edgar Mitchell status. He didn't know who Greer was. Now, I think he knew who Will Miller was, but he didn't know who Greer was. But he said the only reason he took the meeting was because of the late Edgar Mitchell. So essentially, they take the meeting, and Admiral Thomas Wilson says he'll look into it. So I think a couple months later, he calls him and tells him he did find the program that they were talking about. He did some digging around for 2 months, and he talked to some people at Alstat and SAPOC, and he actually found the program that they were talking about. It's like a program built within a program, within a program, in a program. You know, like those little Russian dolls that has a doll within a doll, within a doll, until it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That's how the program was. It was buried under layers of other programs. So he calls them, and he tells them he finds the program, and he gets nowhere. He meets with the project manager, the security manager, and a lawyer who is over the unacknowledged special access program, and he tells him he wants access, that he's the head of the DIA, and they refuse him access. And he said he's gonna go complain, so he goes to complain to his higher up, and he tells him that he's gonna complain. They say go ahead, complain. So he does go and complain, and his bosses call him, or somebody calls him a couple of days later, like 2 or 3 days after he complains, and tells him to drop it. And if he doesn't drop it, he's gonna lose 2 stars. He's gonna lose his career, whatever. So he ends up dropping it. But the program manager and the I think it was the security manager, Laura. I believe it's the program manager did most of the talking. So Admiral Wilson asks them about these programs. He's like, "Do you guys recover UFO technology?" And they says yes. And he said he wants in. They said no, that's not gonna happen. And he has a hissy fit because they don't let him in. Let me find the other page that I want to read to you guys about. It's a really interesting page. I'm skipping around. Like I said, you guys can go to the link below and read the rest of it for yourself. Let's see what page it's on. Let's see, because no. Where is it? Oh, what page is it on? Okay. Okay, so this is Admiral Thomas Wilson. This is on page 12 and 13. Thomas Wilson is talking to Eric Davis about the program. So I'm going to quote exactly to you guys what Thomas Wilson says. So it says they were a reverse engineering program, something recovered years ago in the past. Technology, hardware was recovered. So I thought they meant recovered Soviet, Chinese, etc. hardware and reverse engineer it. Like a missile or intel platform or aircraft actually came to meeting, expect to find a sensitive foreign collection, reverse engineering operation. Thought UFOs used as a cover for that. So I said that I said that, and they said they weren't that either. And let me scroll down. They had a craft, an intact craft they believe could fly. And this is the program manager telling Admiral Thomas Wilson this. It could fly space, air, water, dimensions. Was it from overseas or not? Said no, could not be possible. Why? I asked, where did it come from? Program manager said they didn't know where it came from. They didn't know where it was from. They had some ideas on this. It was technology that was not of this earth, not made by man, not by human hands. That's my favorite part of of the papers. Not made by man, not by human hands. I need to get that put on a shirt, or at least tattooed on me. Let's see. Said they were trying to understand and exploit technology. Their program was going on for years and years with very slow progress, agonizingly slow with little or no success, painful lack of collaboration to get help from outside community of experts and facilities to assist. Effort must remain isolated and use own facilities and clear personnel, tough environment to work. About 400 to 500 bigot lists count, workers varying in number with funding or personal changes. Now, bigot list doesn't mean what you think it means. Miller questions. There was some questions Will Miller wanted asked. So he asked Roswell back. He asked Admiral Thomas Wilson about Roswell, craft bodies, autopsies, Holloman Air Force Base landing, MJ-12, leaked documents, Zamora, and vent waters. They were mum on that, declined to discuss these. Thomas Wilson threatened to go to SAPOC to complain, gain access to their program. They said, go ahead and do what you must. And he was angry because they defied his authority to be read in with good logical reason. Won't budge. Their tone was very terse and terse throughout conversation. So yeah, so he ended up finding the program. He didn't get access, and he never did get access. Now, if you go and try to reach out to Admiral Thomas Wilson or Eric Davis today, of course they're going to deny it. Admiral Thomas Wilson doesn't have a choice but to deny it, because if he comes out and say, oh yeah, I found a secret rogue runaway black project pertaining to alien crafts and UFO bodies, that's not going to go over well with his career. Although I think he's retired at this point. I did look him up to see if I could find some information on him on the internet. Maybe I can email him, but I highly doubt if he's going to talk to me. I know Eric Davis ain't going to talk to me. I do know Richard Dolan reached out to Admiral Thomas Wilson and tried to talk to him about it. He just wasn't having it. He denies that he didn't look into anything. He didn't deny the meeting that he had with Edgar Mitchell and Dr. Stephen Greer and Willard Miller, but he denied that he denied that he looked into the project, that there was nothing there and he didn't find anything. He just said he never looked into it, that he was too busy with other more important stuff back then. But of course he's gonna say that. I mean, like I said, he didn't have any choice. So I would like to know your thoughts on these documents. I already know what my thoughts are. I mean, I think these documents are legit. Oh, and if you want to know how these documents got started, so the documents were found in the late Edgar Mitchell's estate when he passed away. His family was cleaning out his stuff. They came across these documents, and a close family friend who was at his house asked, could he take the documents? They gave them to him. So that speaks a little bit of more of the credibility of these documents. That the fact that Edgar Mitchell had these documents in his possession. Now, as far as we know, they weren't supposed to get leaked out to the public. We don't know who leaked them out. That remains a secret. It wasn't the close family friend. But these documents had been floating out there for a while because someone showed, well, they hadn't been floating out on the internet, but there was a small group of people in the UFO community that knew about these documents. But these documents didn't get leaked, I believe, until 2019 on the internet. But Richard Dolan was showed 2 or 3 pages of these documents. I think he said back in 2006. So he already had knew about these documents. So yeah, they have been out there. And when they came out there in 2019, it was a big shock because they just don't know who leaked these documents. And I'm pretty sure Admiral Thomas Wilson and Eric Davis was not happy about these documents being out there. I would love to reach out to them and would hope they would talk to me, but I know they're not going to talk to me about these documents. They just can't. They just not going to admit to that. Oh. But may I suggest that you guys go and read these papers on MJR, and then follow up with the interview that was done on Larry King with the late Edgar Mitchell. I wish he was still alive to talk about these documents, although he probably wouldn't maybe admit to them because he never shared these documents when he was alive, so he probably didn't want them out there, maybe for a good reason. But I'm glad they're out there, so I hope you are glad they're out there, and I hope you go read them. And maybe if some of you know Edgar Mitchell, some of you know Admiral Thomas Wilson or Eric Davis, you guys might reach out to them. Maybe he'll talk to you because he sure ain't gonna talk to me if he didn't talk to Richard Dolan. Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's about it. That's all I wanted to share with you tonight. I guess I could get into the Philadelphia experiment. So on to that. The Philadelphia experiment was supposed to had to do with cloaking and invisibility about the Navy that happened back in October, I believe, of 43. So the story goes that the Philadelphia, the USS Eldridge was a Navy ship, and they were supposed to be testing cloaking and invisibility technology. And supposedly they had all these generators and equipment on the ship. I don't know the whole story. They started these equipment up and they disappeared and reappeared. Some people said they reappeared in New York. Other people say they reappeared in Norfolk, Virginia. And when they reappeared, the people, the Navy men on board the ship had merged with the ship when they reappeared. I don't know who that true it is. And they said some people had merged with the ship. Some people came back with like burns and stuff. It was just awful. But you don't really hear a lot of too much about this. I mean, nobody's really come out that I know from the Navy to say, yeah, this has really happened. But I was listening to David Paulides the other day, and he was talking about this on his show a little bit about it. He said that he had some people who served in the Navy who came to him and said that this experiment did happen and it did take place. The other thing about the experiment is says that the Navy may have went back like 10 minutes in time. So there's a couple of different theories and rumors floating around there. If this experiment didn't happen, that would be amazing. I wish there was somebody who would actually come out there and attest to it. So that would be pretty cool. They did say when the ship flipped their switches and their equipment and all that kind of stuff, like there was this eerie lighting or fog or glowing light around it, and then like disappeared, and then it came back or whatever, and then that's when the people had merged with the ship. Can you imagine merging with the ship? It reminds me of that new series that came out, Debris. If you guys haven't watched, you should check it out. It has something to do with an alien spaceship. It's like a alien spaceship traveling throughout galaxy, but pieces are falling off of it because it's like an old broken down ship, and it has like all this advanced technology that's falling to Earth, and the government is trying to seize it before the bad guy sees it, and it has to do with cloaking and merging and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool, but I think the show got canceled, which sucks. All the good shows that talks about the aliens in space and all that kind of stuff usually tends to get canceled, but I thought it was pretty good. But I say check it out. It's called Debris. Is there anything else I want to talk about tonight? I think that's gonna cover it. I'm gonna do some more research on the Philadelphia experiment, and I'll come back tomorrow, someday this week, to follow up with you guys some more on that. It's a cool story if it did happen. It would be amazing if that did happen. Not the people merging with the ship, but just the fact that if the Navy did have cloaking or invisibility, or was testing that back in '48, can you imagine where they would be with that technology today? Although I don't know how much I believe in this story, but it's possible. But I do believe those Admiral Wilson's and Eric Davis notes are legit, legit, even though they're gonna die. I mean, I say do your own research if you don't believe me. But I think those documents are the real deal. And if Admiral Thomas Wilson wants to sit down and talk to me, or if Eric Davis wants to sit down and talk to me privately, we can do that. Or you can reach back out to Richard Dillon and speak to him. So he's far better at doing interviews than I am. So I think that's it. So give me your thoughts below. Let me know what you think about the notes if you guys have read them, and please go read them if you haven't read them, and watch their interview, and give me your thoughts on the Philadelphia experiment. I would love to hear that. So I think that's it. I'm gonna call it a night, and I will see you guys some other day this week. Bye for now, and thanks for tuning in again.